If you could turn back the clock and play Apex during any season, which one would you pick? Some of you might instantly think of reliving the glory days of Season 0. Others might point to seasons where certain weapons were at their best or certain maps and mechanics didn't exist. But I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of you will make a choice based on the existing character meta for a particular season. Whether it be the bubble boxing seasons of Gibraltar, the seasons of the Valkyrie Missile Crisis, or the recent trauma-inducing seasons of Seer, Apex typically sits in the mind of players as character eras more than it does seasons. So here's a fun question. What if these characters, in their strongest state, all existed at the same time? Or in other words, what if we designed the game to make every character that strong? Welcome to Apex Legends Turbo, a series where we reimagine Apex as a game that raises the character power floor instead of lowering the power ceiling. Today we'll be discussing the Queen of Sweat, the poster child of Apex, Wraith, and imagining what she would look like as an S-tier character. Creating this prime version of Wraith will be accomplished in 3 manners. First, nerf reversions. These are changes that roll back nerfs to characters. Second, kit improvements. These are changes that buff aspects of the character's current kit. And third, reworks. These are changes that replace existing aspects of the character's kit. Before we explain the list of changes as they apply to Wraith, please keep a few things in mind. These changes for a character would not work under the current design philosophy of Apex Legends. Currently, the game prioritizes teamwork and strategy first, and leverages characters as a way to create team synergy and execute strategies. Instead, these changes cater towards a version of Apex that prioritizes character power and individual player skill, allowing each person on a team to be mini raid bosses when they reach mastery of their character. For those that just want to see the resulting kit, here's the timestamp. For everyone else though, watch as we turn Wraith from an interdimensional skirmisher to a void conqueror. If any of you have played Wraith back in the old days, then I'm sure you can guess which nerf we immediately decided to roll back. That's right, we're bringing back the Naruto Run. Hitboxes aside, it's an absolute travesty that this animation was removed from our favorite sweat lord. I mean, look at that perfect form. Nothing says I have no life like being able to sprint at full speed like your favorite anime ninja. Ideally, there would be a way to implement this without making her harder to hit, but I'm not a dev, so I'm not going to act like I could explain how that would happen. Secondly, we're slightly rolling back the delay on Wraith's tactical ability activation. As opposed to a 1.25 second delay, it's been reduced to 0.8 seconds. It's understandable why the delay was placed as a deterrent from using it as a get out of jail free card, but honestly, that's kind of the point. So it's back, and it's better than ever. How, you may ask? Well, that leads us to our second category. I'm imagining that most of you are giving me a bombastic side eye at the prospect of buffing a near instant phase ability, but hear me out. Wraith's tactical ability in its current state has the property of being cancelable as long as she interrupts the startup by climbing up any surface. To expand this aspect of skill expression, as small as it may be, we're buffing Wraith's tactical ability by allowing it to be cancelled early. Accomplishing this in-game would be as simple as hitting the tactical button again while in phase. And as far as kit improvements, that would be everything. So not too bad, right? Our last area of discussion is reworks. And for Wraith, it's actually a pretty big one. You can thank her almost useless passive for that. As described in the wiki, the player hears a spectral voice audibly warn the player if an enemy is taking aim, an enemy with a sniper rifle is taking aim, there are traps nearby, there are many enemies nearby, many people have died nearby. It may sound cool in theory, but its reliability and its utility is almost zero beyond beginner level of play in Apex. My proposed solution to this is a new passive called Phase Shift. Rather than Wraith hearing voices from alternate timelines that warn her about various activities, she will now swap places with her parallels, allowing the most suitable Wraith to handle a particular scenario. These swaps will not be visible to allies or enemies, but the player controlling Wraith will have an icon to indicate when these effects kick in. Phase shifting grants Wraith buffs dependent on her current phase. There are two phases that Wraith can shift into outside of her default state. First, we have Void Walker. This phase is triggered when the distance between Wraith and her teammates exceeds 35 meters. In this phase, Wraith is granted a half-second increase to her tactical duration. The second phase is Liberator. This phase is triggered when Wraith is the last member alive on her squad. In this phase, Wraith has a 10% decrease in healing time. Okay, so these buffs may seem fairly basic on the surface, but the added utility allows Wraith to expand on the lone wolf playstyle that most players have developed when playing her. And with that being said, we have our completed revamp for Wraith, the Void Conqueror. Thank you for watching, and let me know how you feel about this kit in the comments below. Supporting the channel goes a long way, so do your boy a favor and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.